Hi guys, you're with Carly on Point Blank TV. We are streaming live here from our hub at our Point Blank studios in London for this week's Plug-in of the Week. I'm joined by the very lovely JC, who is our creative director here. And today we're going to be chatting through a brand new drum machine plugin from Waves Alchemy called Revolution.
Yeah.
Bam.
Bam.
That is a fierce name.
It is indeed. It is really promising.
Nice. Would you want to give us like a little brief overview?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it came out in December, late December. I think, maybe 22nd was the release date. And basically, it's 14 iconic drum machine.
Nice.
And I think it's an update to, they had other product doing similar drum machine, like the transient resistor or something. I probably got the name wrong. But they already had few drum machine iconic. They've already, I mean, Wave Alchemy, I think, is really well known for quality samples.
Yeah.
But they've started to do virtual instrument using, obviously, the great samples they have. And basically, this drum machine is about 8 giga to install, 7.5 or something like that. So plenty of samples. I think 41,000 samples. I mean, basically, from what we've read and we've been told, we've discussed with Dan at Wave Alchemy, with, you know, really lovely people. They've really sampled they've taken the hardware, moved little parameters, sampled every nuances in every parameter. So it's sample based as opposed to digitally modeled, or so it's probably more authentic in that sense.
Absolutely.
And I think the samples have been really taken really carefully through like Neve preamps and quality mastering converters. So that means we're really talking great sounding samples.
Yeah.
And I have to say that's the one thing that struck me straight away, was that, yeah, they sound great.
Nice.
They really sound great.
I mean, can you tell the difference between that and an original?
I haven't had a chance yet.
Okay.
However, I've just got my 707 back.
Oh.
From back in the 80s.
Okay.
So I will definitely compare.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if it's been sampled that carefully, I would imagine it's pretty convincing, I would imagine. So roughly, it's got 14 voices, so you've got 2 kick, 2 snare, 3 toms, 3 hats, couple of cymbals, a perk. And in terms of the 14 drum machine we can have a look. So they've got a TR-505 Roland, 606 Roland, which was one of the original analog, 707, which is back in fashion big time. I think that kind of disco sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the snare and the clap in that drum machine. CR-78, which are the old ones, that little rhythm, beatboxing kind of thing.
Yeah.
The 8000 as well. All that is Roland. Then the classic 808 and 909, obviously. And then they also have they've done an interesting things where they've run them through a Game Boy. So you're getting that kind of heavily processed kind of thing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then you've got classic lean drum, Oberheim, DX, which is the little brother of the DMX. That was a really big drum machine as well back in the days. SP12, track from Sequential Circuit, which are the people who did also The Prophet. Emulator drum machine as well. So basically all those iconic drum machines throughout the 80s and 70s. Mostly 80s, I would say. Some of the 70s maybe.
So it's like a monster drum machine.
Yeah, it's all there, all the classic that you would want. So not only you can have them, so maybe the best way is let's load one to start with. So I'm sure everybody's going to want to hear the 808. So let's put an 808 up. So if you press autoplay, you can play it also with a keyboard if you've got connected to a keyboard. I'm using it as a standalone, but you can have it in Logic, in Ableton, in Pro Tools, have separate output, all the kind of stuff you expect from a virtual instrument.
Nice.
If you have autoplay here, that means you can listen to them. So those are 808 kick, classic snare. Let's put a bit of volume on it, shall we? I mean, straight, you can tell they sound really cool.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
And the clap, the classic rim shot from the 808. So it's all there. they sound really, really, really good. You can tweak the sound, and maybe the best way to go about it is let's quickly put a quick sequence together, I guess.
Yes.
Uh,
Lay down some beats.
yeah, I need to select the right sound to start with. So you select first the voice, very much like you use on the drum machine. So the
Okay.
interface is great, you know, and I'll go through the interface. So you've got the 4 voices here. You can go through your drum for each of the voices, and here is the sequencer. So it's got a 16-step sequencer or 32, depending on how you set it up.
Okay.
Let me show you something. Here you've got the chase, so it goes in A and B automatically. You see the little thing moving here. That means you can see the first 16 and then the second 16 steps. Otherwise, you can also open it here, and then you've got the full sequencer, where you can start sequencing and have the full 127. But I'm going to start, so I'm going to put a 16 step to start with, so you just click on 16, that gives you the length of your sequence. Let's close it here. Am I playing something here?
Oh.
Interesting. Ah, that's because I was playing A, I think. Yes, that's what it was. So let's select a kick. And let's put a quick snare somewhere. So anybody of you who've used those machines, you can see there's 2 yellow and red. The red is the accent. And
Right,
if you use
okay.
a classic drum machine, you would have, let's say, a mid velocity and a full-on velocity.
Right.
Usually on your main hit, you would put full-on velocity, therefore the red,
Okay.
and then have the yellow one giving you a little bit of slightly ghost note, slightly lower,
Yeah.
typically. For example, on those double, you would typically have, you know, getting with the push on the second one.
Nice.
So let's start editing the sound and look at what we have here on the kick. Now let's put a little bit of a hat. Okay, just to get something going
Nice.
for us to
Yeah.
start. And then let's start editing the sound. So I'm selecting the sound here, and let's see. So depending on the drum machine that you have different characteristics. So here you've got the tone. And then the classic decay.
Yeah.
And then here, on top of it, you can select which output. So they've been sampled through analog or tape. Tape number 2 also has been sampled through an SP1200
Okay.
to get that kind of grid, proper 12-bit grid from an SP1200. And here is digital or mastered. So it's really interesting because straight away you can get some colors straight away.
Yeah.
Just by using that. So, and again, the snare would be the same here. So you select the classic snap.
Nice.
So very much based on the design of the original.
Yeah.
And like I said, depending on the drum machine that you're using, and depending on the drum machine, you would have different parameters here in that section.
Can you mix and match the drum machines?
Absolutely, and I think that's
Well, that's
suddenly
fun. So you can kind of like build your own kit.
absolutely, and then you can start.
Nice.
So let's say, for example, let's start putting on. Let's change the snare. So we've got an 808 here, but we can change it here. So you go through here. Now we've got a 909 for the snare.
Okay.
Now here we've got a 606. So let's see what it does.
Cool.
606 on the snare. Lindrum.
Yes. 80s.
Okay, proper Lindrum vibe. That's the DX Oberheim. Same, very 80s, but sounds absolutely amazing. And you see the functions, they're changing. Bit of tuning. I mean, the sound, and also what I love about it is it's using round robin sampling. What it means is that they're probably cross-fading, so they're always changing a little bit, so they're never exactly the same.
Okay.
To give you that kind of feel that with analog drum machine used to have.
Yeah.
And also, have you noticed when you change the tuning, you don't hear that it's changing samples. So it's really well put together, I think, in terms of a design.
Nice.
It's brilliant.
And so what have we got up on all the mixing channels?
Okay, on the mixing channel, so what we have, volume, pan, and has a couple of effects.
Okay, what
So we're
effects
going to
have
go
we
into
got?
that. We've got delays.
Yeah.
And if you press the delay button where the name is, it has 2 delays.
Okay.
And we'll go into the effects section. Here, I've got delay 1, delay 2. So you can set them up a certain way. So you put them in sync. Don't seem to be able to. And then the feedback. So you can, use the delays as creative for sound design purposes as well, and a filter on it. So delay 1 or delay, see delay 1, delay 2. And then you've got a reverb as well.
Okay.
And again, reverb 1 and reverb 2. And what they've done with reverb 1 and 2 is the same principle. I think they've sampled, I'm not going to say the right, because it's a convolution of about 16 different reverb. And if you start going into it here, on the submenu, if you look here, we've got all those classic C12 in a room, so convolution of a proper studio, like they've called it Studio A here. But you also have, so all of those are more like a room with different mics, and that's for your reverb 1. And you can change them here, so different type of mics. But also here, the reverb 2 is more based on different reverb design effects.
Okay.
And the RMX 16 is the AMS. And then you can go through all of those. And here you can see here you've got all those different reverb. 300L, which is an lexicon reverb.
Right.
RMX is the AMS. Orban BX20, I think that's the Spring AKG, if I remember correctly. SPX 900, classic effects from the 90s. So lots of really cool effects as well, really well sampled and great convolution for it.
Nice.
So in addition to like the 40,000 samples or 44,000,
41.
It has many convolution of reverb as well.
Yeah.
That makes it really usable, really, really cool, great stuff.
So, like overall, in terms of usability, is it pretty easy to find your way around?
Yeah, I mean, I literally, to be totally honest, I've loaded up late morning, early afternoon, in the middle of work and having everything else to do. As you do. I mean, I tend to do that for all the plugin of the week. Because
absolutely.
I find for me, I want to see how I get on with it within 2 hours without reading the manual.
Okay.
And if I can get something out of it
Yeah.
and I really like it, then I start reading the manual and see how much further we can take it.
Okay, cool.
That's kind of how we tend to approach here.
Yeah.
The plugin of,
Makes sense.
And I've used those drum machines. Like I said, I've got the 606, I had the 808 before, I've got a 707, so I know how to use them. So I was quickly looking at, can I get all those things going with what I have?
Yeah.
You know, so it works a treat. Can we go into a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, shall we go for an 80s vibe now?
Yes.
Can't wait to go for an 80s vibe. Let's go for a proper 80s, 7007.
We're in for a treat.
Let's go back to 84.
That's what I'm talking about.
See what I mean? Before the weekend, want to make that dance move. So, sorry, we're live. No, sorry, we're live. That's Bruno, our radio tutor. So you see, he's loving it already because he's heard it and straight away was like, yes.
Bam.
So, effect-wise, you've got other effect as well. If you go effect here, and not send, but instead instrument.
Okay.
Here we are. You have all those effects here. Sample, so we can shape the sample.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, I'm going to go on this. Let's go clap here. So you can adjust the start and stop of the sample here. Then we've got a filter, envelope, pitch, envelope, and random. So more things to play with. And you've got also a shaper. So here, for example, you see the combination. If I'm going to change the order, it's changing the order of the effects, giving you different things.
Okay.
You've got a compressor, an EQ, and all those effects.
Yeah.
The compressor, you've got two compressor, SSL solid state, or feedback, which is more kind of based on an 1176 classic compressors. And as soon as you touch one of the buttons, it becomes active, green here.
Right. Cool.
So now, slightly distorting. I don't mind the distortion personally, but so let's try, for example, let's go on the snare. I love that 707 snare, absolutely love it.
What's your favourite drum machine?
I don't know, I like them all, but
If you had to pick one.
I think the 707, I'm
Really?
starting to really like it.
Okay.
Partly because I have it.
Yeah.
I'd love the original Lin
Yeah.
drum machine. Only like 5 or 6 of them were made, and Prince had
Really?
Prince had one of them, obviously.
I didn't know that.
And that is the. And then after that, they evolved, and the chips were changed, and so the Lin drum machine are not all made the same. So I think the early one apparently are the one that everybody's
Right,
really,
okay.
really sought after, really. But I love the 707 because it has that feel where it sounds a little bit like a real drum, but it's super fat.
Yeah.
But it works great in electronic music. It really comes through the mix. Obviously, I love the 909 and 808, but they've been so much used now that it's almost a case that every time you do something with it, you're like, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Everybody has heard an 808. You know, I'm almost like overdone it, overcooked a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I used to love the 808. I mean, big time. How about you? What is your favorite drum machine?
808.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great documentary, the movie about the 808.
I think I watched the one. I think I watched it on YouTube. Is it
Yeah.
on YouTube?
I'm not sure.
I think I've definitely watched a documentary. on
Okay.
it. I don't know if it's that one. but
Really quite interesting.
Yeah.
If you guys are into analog drum machine. So yeah, you've got all those great effects. So you've got the filter here. Oh, I've closed it. And then you've got a crush, tape drive with tape heat, crush, beat reduction. I mean, the distortion, I've got to say, sounds really good.
Yeah.
Because I've tried some drum machine where this beat crusher thing, and for me, they sounded really digital.
Okay.
But that one, I love the sound of the analogness of it. Transient, brilliant for attack. Look at the snap that it's adding to it straight away. I mean, great effect.
Yeah.
On top of all the samples. So, yeah, it's a winner for me. Really growing on me.
Nice.
One of the cool things you can do as well, if you press, I think it's Alt, you're changing all the level at the same time. So you can quickly change one thing all together.
Oh, okay,
Little
cool.
things like that. To reset anything that you're not sure you've done, you press Apple. And let's say if I do that, I press Apple, it comes back to initial.
Okay.
It resets this. You've got a swing, obviously. So let's say
Where's that?
The swing. So let's say for example, let's put a 909, kind of classic house beat, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a classic beat. And that's without the swing.
Yeah.
And then
Much more groovy.
as soon as you're getting that swing, if you use the negative hit, it becomes like a shuffle,
Yeah.
which in dance music maybe not that useful, but you're getting some interesting stuff with it. I'm just trying to give an overview because I know we don't have much time, and the idea is to do a quick review of it.
So, I mean, what are the pros and the cons?
To be honest, the pros is that you have 14 drum machine in one, and that you can have an 808 kick with a 909 drum.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. You have a sequencer, which does a lot more than what I've shown.
Yeah.
I mean, if I go into the details here of this sequencer, you can do that. And then, some drum machine, you've got accent here, but also some drum machine had a function called flam.
Okay.
The flam, as a drummer, is when you use your two hands and you get them not to play at the same time, so you get this effect of ta-ta.
Okay.
And very much used in hip hop as well, with a clap. You hear those kind of in dance music as well, when it's slightly slower tempo.
I didn't know that was called a flam.
So it's called a flam. So you can recreate it here, negative or positive function. So the best way for me to demonstrate that would be probably to select the clap here. Yeah, let's make the clap here, and let's. I probably need to select the clap. I think that's how you get it to work. Like I said, I haven't. No, here I've selected my step. Here, let's do it. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Get that kind of lazy sound, and then you can bring it all here, I believe. So you see, I'm moving, I'm affecting all of them now, and I've reset them here. Obviously, with your step sequencer here, you can, instead of you can have 127 velocity.
Oh, really?
Whereas if you do it here with the two accent,
Yeah.
that's your classic drum machine,
Yeah.
you never had 127 velocity
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have with a MIDI keyboard.
Okay,
but
that's
if you do
cool.
use it here, then it suddenly becomes your 127
Yeah.
velocity. One more thing I need to show you, which I really like, and I think a lot of people would want that. Where is it? It's here. You need to double click here. I think, yeah. And now you can drag it. You drag the three dots, I believe. And sometimes it works, and sometimes I don't. Here it is. Here it is. So if you're in Logic, you drag that onto your MIDI track, and that all the sequencer becomes the MIDI part.
Oh, I see.
So you can drag. So all of that is the great thing.
Anything you don't like about it, or you think they've?
I haven't played with it enough. No, at the moment it's. I was struggling a little bit with the multi-out in Logic, so that's why I'm showing it as a standalone. But that we had an early version as well.
Oh, okay.
People at with Alchemy were really nice to lend us an early version to try it out.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get it, but it's probably me, to be honest. Again,
Okay.
having left little time for it. So you've got the MIDI file. No, I mean, so far, I've always wanted one thing where I could have all my drum machine and I have them as samples, and I open it in Contact, or I tend to use the XS24 in Logic. But it's not really intuitive. I mean, here, the interface I love. I mean, for me, it's a winner at the moment.
Nice.
I've yet to use it within the production, and then I will be able to find out probably what I don't like about it.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's a winner. It really is a winner.
Nice.
I don't know if there's a demo for it by any means.
No,
Check
there
the
is.
website.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you checked?
Yeah, so if you guys want to check out a demo version, just head to the Wave Alchemy website and you can download a demo. And if you do like it, I think it's 150 quid retails. Yeah. Do you think that's fair price?
I think so.
Yeah.
If you think of it as 14
machine.
drum machine,
Yeah.
I think yes.
Absolutely.
And also it's the interface. For me, having a drum machine with the sequencer that behaves and the parameters changing as the original drum machine, it's kind of as close as you can get before spending £1,000 or £1,500 on a 909.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right away.
And it sounds good.
It sounds really good. I love the sound of it. It's fat. It's
Cool.
very, very more than usable.
Well, thank you very much, JC.
Thank you,
Very
Carly.
informative.
No, thank you. Been a pleasure.
Well, that was Wave Alchemy's Revolution. And if you guys would like to find out more about this space here, just head to our website, pointblankmusicschool.com, and you can book in for your very own tour of the Point Blank Studios, which we do on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be seeing you very soon for another plug-in of the week. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye.